pass it over to Hamilton Perkins Collection. Please share about your journey, manufacturing, and how you got into this space.
Yeah, absolutely. That's crazy trying to follow up Sneaker Steve. It's impossible. I'm Hamilton Perkins, founder of HPC. Always was interested in recycling, even back in middle school. Had a magazine business, got shut down for it, didn't let it stop me. Would go on to make products made from plastic bottles, billboards. Bootstrapped that to about 50,000 handbags sold, and really hit this inflection point with clients. Those clients were saying, hey, we want you to take our waste and make your bags from it. And we said no to luxury brands, we said no to live events, and it really got us to this point where we said, we're spending so much time telling everyone no, why don't we just see what's out there, see what the options are. And we kind of packed up everything. We moved from the East Coast out here to California, got in, thanks to Sneaker Steve, we got into Los Angeles Clean Tech Incubator by way of his introduction. We kind of went on a tear with accelerators. We got into Pharrell Williams Black Ambition Foundation Accelerator, Techstars, Draper Innovation Showcase over at UCLA, and LabStar. LabStar allowed us to understand the landscape with climate technology at the national lab level, and to understand that a lot of the tech there is essentially going dormant. You know, there's this brilliant scientists working on so many different solutions specific to inventory and material science. And so what we do is we partner with them to commercialize that technology and bring it to a customer. So right now we have basically a working pilot. We have materials that are getting made at gram scale, to call it kilogram scale output. We have a luxury brand pilot partner and a sportswear pilot partner. And we've raised about $1 million. We have $1.5 million in revenue. And you know, right now we're, you know, as the startup tale goes, we're always looking for capital. So we have gotten to a good point with some of our existing group that are coming back in and participating, which has been great. We've been closing on safes, et cetera, over the summer. More recently picked up the Los Angeles Economic Development Corporation and Microsoft Philanthropy grant for AI and sustainability. I think for us, the AI part, we know that we're not necessarily an AI first company, but we are looking at how we can use it as a tool to matchmake and to make a lot of the automation work for clients. So when we take raw materials like end-of-life garments, built environment waste, we do have to sort of quote the client. We do have to find a useful place for it, whether it's with us or with others. So part of the platform build out is to help match make and let others that are looking for the materials that we have easy access to, help them acquire it and kind of use it and keep it from going in a landfill. Andre and Dan have helped us with this work with software development and kind of prototyping. UCLA's provided us engineers and reporting and kind of initial data sets. And I think now we're excited because we do see the path forward. Just got back from New York Climate Week, learning more about the sentiment right now and seeing where clients are. And I think the big brands do want to invest in this. They are investing in it. If nothing else, it's, you know, some of them are probably running the opposite way. Some of them have started with, you know, over communicating what they were doing from a green perspective, and now, you know, so that was greenwashing. Now I think that the term green hushing has emerged, so companies aren't talking about what they're doing, which kind of leads consumers to feel that there's nothing happening. But when you go into these businesses, you start to see all these amazing initiatives and the quantitative, you know, the life cycle assessment on everything that they're doing. So we are, you know, gearing up for Q1. I think realistically, you know, we've got a couple more months here left. We're going to go to TechCrunch Disrupt and be a part of the Battlefield 200. We're in Verge, Impact 25 startups to watch. And so we'll be kind of planning to close out the year strong with sort of pilots, capital, and really just getting started at the kilogram output for 2026.
Yeah. That was really interesting what you mentioned about greenwashing, and that's a real thing because supply chains are very vast. And so doing one thing in one aspect of the supply chain, you know, it's a good start, but ultimately it's not enough. So when you're speaking with new clients, what are those talking points that really get them, that resonates with them to make them want to invest in your solution?
Well, if you can borrow a quote, you probably want to borrow it from like Jeff Bezos, because he says, what are things that customers always are going to want? They're going to want it more cost effective and faster. And I think that's still true for the most part. It's how do you get things in that order? So I think most of the clients are open to paying a green premium. I think largely investors don't want to hear that necessarily, and I think realistically you have to balance the expectation of, okay, can you get this at par? Can you get this at less than par? I think I saw another quote. I think it was Ben Horowitz said 10x cheaper and 10x faster. So I think you have to kind of think about how does your client really feel about what you're doing and how is it going to move the needle for them. In our case, I think clients really want to, they're eager to invest in this space. Big problem though is just scaling up. Most of these technologies, especially in whether you're doing chemical recycling or biological conversion, there's a lot of difficulty scaling up because it takes a lot of capital, it takes a lot of moving parts, and I think a lot of the problems that are probably going to either be presented on the slides in terms of sorting and just separation, logistics, these and internal dialogues from having a champion to not having a champion, political. I mean, there's a lot of like different forces, but I think most clients are definitely trying to do something about it. They're open to doing something about it. You're seeing different things pop up at the different fashion weeks. You're seeing things pop up, whether it's like in capsule collections. But the hard part is that full kind of rollout of sustainability. And I think a lot of it is also the degree of difficulty. On the science side, most of the companies that are in the space, you have a choice. You have to either build a plant or you have to outsource it. Yeah. And if you're going to build a plant or several plants, that costs a lot of capital, and you sort of have to become good at just making plants, which is almost like a different skill set. But if you outsource it, you have to get your process simplified enough and a replicable model that you can outsource to someone to actually take and run and get it to the next level, which that's difficult. And then you have all other challenges of cost where things continue to go east. So there's a lot of moving parts from kind of the corporate side. There's a lot of moving parts on the supplier side. Funding side, I think the deals are still happening. We're seeing, people get funded still, and the goalpost is just moving right, which most people already know is, what a couple of years ago it seemed like all you needed was the idea and that was enough, and now it's like you need the idea, you need the customer, you need to be showing it almost like in its full capacity. Even if it's like a miniature version of what you're going to build, it needs to be able to, you have to show it like on a bench, even like the whole thing from start to finish, what it's going to look like completely. You got to have the whole thing figured out just to clear market at say pre-seed or seed. So that's what we're seeing.
Yeah. So both of you are pioneers in this space, and I want to open it up to questions. If anyone has any questions about recycled manufacturing, these are the guys to ask. Okay.
Actually, Hamilton, did I share with you the piece about the dead stock or like the found stock initiative?
Please tell me. I love this real-time engagement. Let's do it.
In New York, her name is Stephanie. She had been Stephanie Benedetto. She's like been doing textile work, supply chain work. She had actually started a playbook for how do you find dead stock. She's been working with Katrin from Shein, or formerly from Shein, and she actually produced this year, like finally put it into the play space and was like, hey, this is my recipe for what you should be doing with found stock instead of calling it dead stock. How do we get a market back together? So I would say we should probably connect with her, or I should connect you with her, so that maybe you guys can talk about also how do you create an ecosystem of players who are like, I have this thing, but like, and it's here, and we don't have to dye it, we don't have to pick out the things, but like someone needs to use it. So.
No, that's huge. And to that point, when I talk to customers, the big problem is the cutting room floor. Like that's also another major problem, like bigger than people really know and what really gets made press worthy. But I totally would love to connect with anyone, and yeah.
And that's actually a great segue, because the next segment is inventory production.
I have actually a question to Steve.
Yes.
I built two footwear companies in Europe as well, and I helped on running with their cycling model. It's also similar with new design.
Yeah. Is that the one that you can wear and then it kind of disintegrates. It goes to your foot, and then you can return it. It's only
Yeah.
made in white.
Yeah.
It's
you
really
don't
cool.
buy, but you lease the models. And
Yes.
that's what the whole
Yeah.
idea of exchanging the business model.
Yeah, I love
When
that.
you sell the products, you get it actually back. And I think that's